To become financially independent, you must turn part of your income into capital. Turn capital into enterprise. Turn enterprise into profit. Turn profit into investment. And turn investment into financial independence. Part of your heritage in this society is the opportunity to become financially independent. If you depend on your company to take care of your retirement, your future income will be divided by 5. Take care of it yourself, and you can multiply your future income by 5. I remember saying to my mentor, "If I had more money, I would have a better plan." He quickly responded, "I would suggest that if you had a better plan, you would have more money." You see, it's not the amount that counts, it's the plan that counts. If you were to show me your current financial plan, would I get so excited by it that I would go across the country and lecture on it? If the answer is no, then here's my question. Why not? Why wouldn't you have a superior financial plan that is taking you to the places you want to go? Financial independence is the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources. Shortly after I met my mentor, he asked me, "Mr. Rohn, how much money have you saved and invested over the last 6 years?" And I said, "None." He then asked, "Who sold you on that plan?" It is better to be a lender than a spender. The philosophy of the rich versus the poor is this. The rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend their money and invest what is left. I used to say, things cost too much. Then my teacher straightened me out on that by saying, the problem isn't that things cost too much. The problem is that you can't afford it. That's when I finally understood that the problem wasn't it. The problem was me. We all know a variety of ways to make a living. What's even more fascinating is figuring out ways to make a fortune. The Bible says that it is hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't say that it is impossible. If you make a sale, you can make a living. If you make an investment of time and good service in a customer, you can make a fortune. Don't just let your business or your job make something for you. Let it make something of you. Lack of homework shows up in the marketplace as well as in the classroom. Where you start in the marketplace is not where you have to stay. The worst days of those who enjoy what they do are better than the best days of those who don't. I used to say, I sure hope things will change. Then I learned that the only way things are going to change for me is when I change. Don't say, if I could, I would. Say, if I can, I will. It doesn't matter which side of the fence you get off on sometimes. What matters most is getting off. You cannot make progress without making decisions. We generally change ourselves for one of two reasons: inspiration or desperation. If you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. One of the best places to start to turn your life around is by doing whatever appears on your mental I should list. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. Every life form seems to strive to its maximum except human beings. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. Human beings, on the other hand, have been given the dignity of choice. You can choose to be all or you can choose to be less. Why not stretch up to the full measure of the challenge and see what all you can do? You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Decision-making can sometimes seem like inner civil war. The goal of effective communication should be for the listener to say, "Me too," versus "so what?" Learn to express, not impress. It's not the matter you cover so much as it is the manner in which you cover it. Be brief on the logic and reason portion of your presentation. There are probably about 1,000 facts about an automobile, but you don't need them all to make a decision. About a half dozen will do. Better understated than overstated. Let people be surprised that it was more than you promised and easier than you said. For effective communication, use brevity. Jesus said, "Follow me." Now that's brief. He could be brief because of all that he was that he didn't have to say. You cannot speak that which you do not know. You cannot share that which you do not feel. You cannot translate that which you do not have. And you cannot give that which you do not possess. To give it and to share it, and for it to be effective, you first need to have it. Good communication starts with good preparation. Effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. What is powerful is when what you say is just the tip of the iceberg of what you know. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. There are no new fundamentals. You've got to be a little suspicious of someone who says, "I've got a new fundamental." That's like someone inviting you to tour a factory where they are manufacturing antiques. Some things you have to do every day. Eating 7 apples on Saturday night instead of 1 a day just isn't going to get the job done. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. It is the accumulative weight of our disciplines and our judgments that leads us to either fortune or failure. Most homes valued at over $250,000 have a library. That should tell us something. Everything you need for your better future and success has already been written. And guess what? It's all available. All you have to do is go to the library. But would you believe that only 3% of the people in America have a library card? Wow, they must be expensive. No, they're free. And there's probably a library in every neighborhood. Only 3%. Miss a meal if you have to, but don't miss a book. Some people claim that it is okay to read trashy novels because sometimes you can find something valuable in them. You can also find a crust of bread in a garbage can if you search long enough, but there is a better way. Some people read so little they have rickets of the mind. It isn't what the book costs, it's what it will cost if you don't read it. I now have one of the better libraries. I'll admit that I haven't read everything in my library, but I feel smarter just walking in it. Books are easy to find and easy to buy. A paperback these days only costs $6 or $7. You can borrow that from your kids. Don't just read the easy stuff. You may be entertained by it, but you will never grow from it. The book you don't read won't help. My father taught me to always do more than you get paid for as an investment in your future. Whether you stay 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, always leave it better than you found it. Don't bring your need to the marketplace. Bring your skill. If you don't feel well, tell your doctor. But not the marketplace. If you need money, go to the bank, but not the marketplace. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but we get paid for the value, not for the time. Here's the major problem with going on strike for more money. You cannot get rich by demand. You must learn to translate wisdom and strong feelings into labor. The miracle of the seed and the soil is not available by affirmation. It is only available by labor. Make rest a necessity, not an objective. only rest long enough to gather strength. Without constant activity, the threats of life will soon overwhelm the values. The few who do are the envy of the many who only watch. For every promise, there is a price to pay. The Pledge of Allegiance starts with I and ends with all. That's what America is all about. I, individual, and all of us. When all of us understand how valuable each of us is, that's powerful. And here's what else is powerful. When each of us understands how powerful all of us are. America is unique because it offers you an economic ladder to climb. And here's what's exciting. It is the bottom of the ladder that is crowded, not the top. In America, we have the greatest chance for opportunity than anyone else in the past 6,500 years. Never in recorded history have so many different gifts been brought from all over the world and deposited in one country. In America, everything you need to succeed is within reach. Asking is the beginning of receiving. Make sure you don't go to the ocean with a teaspoon. At least take a bucket so the kids won't laugh at you. There is no better opportunity to receive more than to be thankful for what you already have. Thanksgiving opens the windows of opportunity for ideas to flow your way. Resolve says, I will. The man says, I will climb this mountain. They told me it is too high, too far, too steep, too rocky, and too difficult. But it's my mountain. I will climb it. You will soon see me waving from the top or dead on the side from trying. Disgust and resolve are two of the great emotions that lead to change. If you just communicate, you can get by. But if you communicate skillfully, you can work miracles. Don't mistake courtesy for consent. It's so easy to make a mistake in language if you aren't careful. What if you meant to say, what's troubling you? And what you actually said was, what's wrong with you? Real persuasion comes from putting more of you into everything you say. Words have an effect. Words loaded with emotion have a powerful effect. Be careful of using inside lingo on the outside world. Take advantage of every opportunity to practice your communication skills so that when important occasions arise, you will have the gift, the style, the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotions to affect other people. Communication is the ability to affect other people with words. The more you know, the less you need to say. Don't be afraid to borrow if someone else has said it well. Winston Churchill said, "The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, and ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is." That's so well said. You could stay up all night and not think of that. The best advice I ever came across on the subject of concentration is, wherever you are, be there. When you work, work. When you play, play. Don't mix the two. Give whatever you are doing and whoever you are with the gift of your attention. On the way to work, concentrate on the way, not on the work. Pay attention. Don't just stagger through the day. Debate refines a good idea. That's why we have two major parties in Congress. Somebody says, "I have a great idea for the country." We say, "Wonderful. Put it on the table. Let's debate." And we start the debate by questioning the guy who has this great idea. After the third question, he says, "I withdraw my great idea. I forgot about those three questions." There is plenty of time to argue with new ideas later. The key is to take careful notes first and debate second. Always be willing to look at both sides of the argument. Understanding the other side is the best way to strengthen your own. We need to teach our children how to debate the major life issues. Debate strengthens their beliefs and enables them to defend themselves against ideologies that are going to come their way. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is, discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons. You don't have to change that much for it to make a great deal of difference. A few simple discipline can have a major impact on how your life works out in the next 90 days, let alone in the next 12 months or the next 3 years. Humans have the remarkable ability to get exactly what they must have. But there is a difference between a must and a want. The best motivation is self-motivation. The guy says, "I wish someone would come by and turn me on." What if they don't show up? You've got to have a better plan for your life. When you know what you want and you want it bad enough, you will find a way to get it. Motivation alone is not enough. If you have an idiot and you motivate him, now you have a motivated idiot. Without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. The least lack of discipline starts to erode our self-esteem. All disciplines affect each other. Mistakenly, the man says, "This is the only area where I let down." Not true. Every letdown affects the rest. Not to think so is naive. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. Discipline has within it the potential for creating future miracles. The best time to set up a new discipline is when the idea is strong. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. We must learn to apply all that we know so that we can attract all that we want. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of health. Learning is the beginning of spirituality. Searching and learning is where the miracle process all begins. If someone is going down the wrong road, he doesn't need motivation to speed him up. What he needs is education to turn him around. Don't see the mind for more than it is, but don't misread it for all that it can be. Sharpen your interest in two major subjects, life and people. You will only gather information from a source if you are interested in it. Education must precede motivation. While you are in school, make sure you get the information. What you think about it, that's up to you. What you are going to do with it, that will soon be up to you. But while you are there, make sure you get it. In fact, my advice is, don't leave school without it. Never begrudge the money you spend on your own education. If you step up the self-education curve, you will come up with more answers than you can use. Emotions will either serve or master, depending on who is in charge. Our emotions need to be as educated as our intellect. It is important to know how to feel, how to respond, and how to let life in so that it can touch you. Civilization is the intelligent management of human emotions. Measure your emotions. You don't need an atomic explosion for a minor point. Women have an incredible ability to pick up on emotional signals. For example, there are some wolves that are so clever, they have learned to dress up like sheep. Man says, "Looks like a sheep, talks like a sheep." Woman says, "Ain't no sheep." Be sensitive to the plight of others. You have to know about the tragedies as well as the triumphs, the failures as well as the successes. How do you build a bridge between age 12 and age 40? By remembering. One of the greatest gifts you can give to anyone is the gift of your attention. The more you care, the stronger you can be. Don't operate on the heart with a hatchet. Enterprise is better than ease. Profits are better than wages. Wages make you a living. Profits make you a fortune. Human beings have the remarkable ability to turn nothing into something. They can turn weeds into gardens and pennies into fortunes. Showing a profit means touching something and leaving it better tight than you found it. Enterprise is the hope of our future. Take time to gather up the past so that you will be able to draw from your experiences and invest them in the future. Don't let the learning from your own experiences take too long. If you have been doing it wrong for the last 10 years, I would suggest that's long enough. Life is not just the passing of time. Life is the collection of experiences and their intensity. It's easy to carry the past as a burden instead of a school. It's easy to let it overwhelm you instead of educate you. Be like a sponge when it comes to each new experience. If you want to be able to express it well, you must first be able to absorb it well. It's too bad failures don't give seminars. Wouldn't that be valuable? If you meet a guy who has messed up his life for 40 years, you've just got to say, "John, if I bring my journal and promise to take good notes, would you spend a day with me?" The formula for disaster is could plus should plus won't. Failure is not a single cataclysmic event. You don't fail overnight. Instead, failure is a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. Don't take the casual approach to life. Casualness leads to casualties. Inevitability is being 200 feet from Niagara Falls in a little boat with no motor and no oars. Fascination is one step beyond interest. Interested people want to know if it works. Fascinated people want to learn how it works. Learn how to turn frustration into fascination. You will learn more being fascinated by life than you will by being frustrated by it. I'm on my way to the airport to catch a plane that leaves in 45 minutes. The traffic is not moving 1 inch. I am now fascinated. Not frustrated, but fascinated. But I must admit, it doesn't work every time. Develop a chilled-like fascination with life and people. We must all wage an intense, lifelong battle against the constant downward pull. If we relax, the bugs and the weeds of negativity will move into the garden and take away everything of value. Humility is a virtue. Timidity is a disease. If you spend 5 minutes complaining, you have just wasted 5 minutes. If you continue complaining, it won't be long before they haul you out to a financial desert and they'll let you choke on the dust of your own regret. You cannot take the mild approach to the weeds in your garden. You've got to hate weeds enough to kill them. Weeds are not something you handle. Weeds are something you devastate. It's best to start the discipline of generosity when the amounts are small. It's easy to give 10 cents out of $1. It's a little harder to give 100,000 out of 1,000,000. Giving is better than receiving because giving starts the receiving process. Here's what is exciting about sharing ideas with others. If you share a new idea with 10 people, they get to hear it once and you get to hear it 10 times. Sharing makes you bigger than you are. The more you pour out, the more life will be able to pour in. Somebody says, "Well, I can't be concerned about other people. About the best I can do is to take care of myself." Well, then you will always be poor. What you give becomes an investment that will return to you multiplied at some point in the future. When somebody shares, everybody wins. The amount you give isn't important. What matters is what that amount represents in terms of your life. Only by giving are you able to receive more than you already have. Goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you act upon them. If you go to work on your goals will go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work on you. Whatever good things we build end up building us. Don't set your goal too low. If you don't need much, you won't become much. We all have two choices. We can make a living or we can design a life. We all need lots of powerful, long-range goals to help us pass the short-term obstacles. The major reason for setting a goal is for what it makes of you to accomplish it. What it makes of you will always be the far greater value than what you get. The ultimate reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them. When Andrew Carnegie died, they discovered a sheet of paper upon which he had written one of the major goals of his life: to spend the first half of his life accumulating money and to spend the last half of his life giving it all away. Some people are disturbed by those tough days because all they have is the days. They haven't designed or described or defined the future.